Am I audible now?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. So let us start by invoking the blessings of the Acharyas. So we are done with the Kirtan. Om Gyanativinandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swam Rupa Kadamiyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeyam Shri Guru Shri Uta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaisnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijanasahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsha हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांतो राधा कांत नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी ही राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी ऋषभानु सुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे प्लीज रिपीट हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे once more hare krishna 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 hare 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 rama 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 hare 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 krishna to all the devotees, very warm welcome to all of you. So we have started our second module of Bhakti Shastri, which is Isopanisad, and we have covered the first three verses and the invocation. So the invocation was Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Evamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. So everything which is emanating from the Lord is complete, and Lord is also complete. So any small thing which Lord has created is complete in itself. For example, our soul is residing in this body. This body is complete in itself. Like it has so many organs. It is so systematically designed that like it can function on its own. It doesn't need to depend so much on the other things. So that's what was the invocation mantra. And then we like went through the first verse. Before first verse, Prabhupada is giving a very long introduction about the importance of Vedas, that what is Vedas and how Isopanishad is one of the Upanishads, and it is very important to go through Isopanishad, basically to understand the Upanishads and Vedas, right? And in the first verse, Ishavasam idam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat tene tak tena bhunjita ma grida kasya svidhanam. So everything animate or inanimate is coming out of the Supreme Lord, and everybody, every living entity is provided a quota in which he has to act. And if he acts within that quota and he engages whatever he has been provided by the Supreme Lord and Supreme Lord's service, then he becomes truly satisfied and happy. And but if he encroaches upon others' quota, then that's a problem. Basically, that brings him more dissatisfaction. And in the second verse, it is said the a person who is living by the principle of Ishavasham, he can live for hundreds of years. Like he can live that life very happily and with lot of satisfaction, unlimitedly. Like that is the spiritual principle. That whatever we are given, if we are able to engage those things in Krishna's service, and if we are happy with whatever little Krishna gives, then we can remain happy throughout our life, and we can live a long life. For example, in Ayurveda, it is called Shat Ayu. Because in Ayurveda, if you follow, you are like mentally happy, you are spiritually happy, you are intellectually happy, and you are always happy. Brahma Saukhyam Tvananta. So Nayam Deha Deha Bhajam Riloke, Kastan Kamanara Devid Bhujam Tapo Divyam Putrakayena Sattvam, Shuddhyed Yasmat Brahma Saukhyam Tvanantam. So this is what Rishabh Dev is also instructing his sons, that this human life is not for sense gratification, because sense gratification is available in animal life also. But this human life is for doing austerities and penances, so that you can always remain in touch with the Supreme Lord. And then you can experience infinite spiritual bliss. Brahma Saukyam Varanta. So on the similar lines, the second verse talks about that if we are able to follow the Ishavasham principle, then basically we can live hundreds of years by following that principle. And we see that right now in our society, nobody is following this principle. And that's why there is so much chaos. There is so much letting down. Like people, they just want to trample over each other. They want to suppress each other. In our companies also, we see there is so much overstepping. Like although the projects are divided individually, everybody is working on the individual project, but still basically uh, they are more interested in other persons. So it is said na कि दूसरे की बीवी और दूसरे की थाली में खाना हमेशा ज्यादा अच्छा लगता है. तो so that is another manifestation of greed and lust basically. So if we become free from greed and lust, then we will be able to follow the Ishavasham principle. Kam, Krodh, Lobha, Moha, Mad, Matsar. So these are the six enemies of any living entity. And if we are able to serve Krishna with whatever he has given, and if we are able to feel the exchanges of rasas, and if we are able to feel the presence of Krishna, then we will remain satisfied with whatever little Krishna gives, because we are experiencing Krishna. We are experiencing the Bhakti Rasa. So our life becomes blissful. We don't want anything else apart from our relationship with Krishna. So that's how we are experiencing the spiritual world in this material world. And if we are not able to follow the Ishavasham principle, then that is the third verse, that basically you go to the like the severest of the hellish planets. So that's why it is very important. Like these sutras, these are called Paribhasha Sutra. For example, every scriptural book has a Paribhasha Sutra. So Isopanisad has this Ishavasham principle, and Bhagavatam has Etecham Sakala Punsa, Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam, Indrani Vyakulam Lokam, Hridayanti Yoge. And then there is, in Bhagavad Gita, there is Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita. So these shlokas, they actually they pave the foundation of that book, what that book wants to convey. So that's why this Ishavasham principle is very important. And if we apply this very carefully under proper guidance, under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, then we can become we can become very happy in our life with whatever little Krishna has given. So yeah, especially if you are working in outside world, that it's very important to apply and to preach others to apply this principle. There will be a lot of order, there will be a lot of harmony, peace, and love among the living entities. Because although like in the material world we are seeing everybody else trampling over each other, but in the spiritual world everybody is happy and everybody has a special place. Everybody has special qualities, and they are doing those services and with those qualities. For example, like in Ramayana also we see right, there is a squirrel who is contributing, who is trying to move a stone to form the bridge which Lord Rama wants to construct. And Hanuman said to that squirrel that we are moving so big stones. What is the advantage of your moving small stone? And immediately Lord Ram scolded Hanuman, ki let her do whatever she is doing. Like we cannot stop her service. So like this, like Krishna accepts everybody's service, and everybody is special to him. Krishna knows everybody's qualities, everybody's individuality, everybody's emotions and feelings. So that's why we should never we should always think that we are very important to Krishna. And we should work on our qualities, and the more we work on our qualities, the lesser we will have to take care of our weaknesses, because Krishna consciousness is like working for the A grade. Like when you work for A grade, that you don't need to worry about D grade. So keeping your always being aware of your strengths and weaknesses, you work on your strengths, and then automatically that relationship with Krishna will reveal to you, and automatically it will give you a lot of spiritual strength to deal with your weaknesses, to deal with your limitations, which are, because every living entity has like has positives, has qualities, and has negatives also. For example, like we hear in Shastra, right? Like these demoniac qualities and divine qualities, they are residing in different planets in the Satyuga. And in the Treta Yuga, it is in different countries. For example, when Ram fought with the Ravana is in Sri Lanka and Lord Rama is in India. So, and in Dwapar Yoga, it is within the same family but in different bodies. For example, Duryodhana is demoniac and Yudhishthira Maharaj is divine. But in Kali Yuga, both of the qualities are residing in the same living entity. So, divine and demoniac both. And I think Bhagavad Gita 16th chapter is a very good place if anybody wants to introspect and self-examine what are the qualities he is having. So that's why like Lord Chaitanya has appeared for this Kali Yuga to like purify us of our bad qualities. And the best way to purify us is to chant the Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So this is the base. And are there any questions? I would request Aman Prabhu if you want to introduce yourself. Aman Prabhu is so there are many 16 rounders here, like three devotees are there, and we have already like completed the nectar of instruction. So Aman Prabhu will be joining us for Isopanisad, and if this structure suits him, yeah. So you can,
Yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Prabhu, my name is Aman Kumar, and currently I'm pursuing my bachelor's. I'm about to finish my graduation, and I will be working in Target. And apart from that, I joined ISKCON in 2021, and in Patna. And the same, I was in like there is a Gandhi Maidan place where I was going for purchasing. Um, one a sample paper during my 12th exam. So that time some devotees met and they gave me Gita, and that's how I got connected. And with their blessings, I continued, and from the Lord's blessing and all the Vaishnavas' blessing, I'm continue with the 16 round from last 2 3 years. And I hope so. This year we will get means I'll get initiation. So this is all about me. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. A very warm welcome to you. And which service do you like the most? Which thing do you like the most about devotional service? Like any specific?
Uh, Means any specific service, or like I didn't get it.
Yeah, anything like maybe chanting or hearing from spiritual master or devotee association or prasadam.
Mostly I like prasadam because that means that only keep me intact with the ISKCON, and with the means that helped me a lot, because I
Yeah,
feel that with means by getting prasadam only I was able to chant more and more. And that's why this is the one thing means I used to emphasize more, because I went to Uti also. So my priority was like to get prasadam only, and Krishna helped me also that time. Like there were some devotees 5 kilometers away from my place. They came and they were delivering prasadam. So means that thing makes me like enthusiastic, and I like mostly prasadam. So
yeah.
yeah.
Very nice, bro. Very nice. There are so many prasad leelas actually. One time, Srila Prabhupada asked, there were three disciples with him, and he asked one of his disciples, "Why did you come to Krishna consciousness?" So the disciple said, "Prabhupada, prasadam is very nice. Prasadam is the only thing because of which I am here in Krishna consciousness."
Yeah.
And then Prabhupada asked the other disciple, he also said the same. And the third disciple, he also said the same. And then there was some silence, and then all the disciples they asked Prabhupada, "Prabhupada, you have asked us that why we are in Krishna consciousness, but what is your secret? How are you in Krishna consciousness?" Prabhupada said, "Yeah, like prasadam is amazing. For me also,
Mm,
I'm in Krishna consciousness because of prasad."
mm,
Thank you, Prabhu.
mm,
There are a lot of prasadam leelas we'll discuss while we
yeah.
discuss the Shastra. Thank you.
Mm.
So I hope everybody has a copy of Ishopanishad. Like, should I project? Is it required? Ravi Prabhu, you have? Okay. So I'll project anyways. Aman bro, you have the copy?
No, Prabhu, I'll purchase today.
Yeah, you can purchase. If you are planning to do Bhakti Shastri, it would be nice.
Sure.
अनेजदेकं मनसो जवीयो नैनद्देवा आप्नुवन् पूर्वमर्षत् तद्धावतो ज्ञानद्येति तिष्ठत् तस्मिन्नपो मातरिश्व ददाति. Although fixed in his abode, the personality of Godhead is swifter than the mind and can overcome all others running. The powerful demigods cannot approach him, although in one place he controls. Although in one place he controls those who supply the air and rain, he surpasses all in excellence. So these two verses are full of contradictions and they are basically describing the qualities of the Lord. So we know that from the famous verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, right? Vadanti tattva tattva vidas yaj jnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaniti chandrita. So Krishna is present in our heart as a super soul. Krishna is present in the deities as Sachidanand Vigraha form. And he's also present in every atom as the super soul. So Krishna is everywhere. And if we understand this, if we have faith in this, then we can understand both these verses. But if we don't have faith, then it will be difficult to understand these properties of the Lord. So, for example, here they are saying that Krishna is fixed in the abode, but still he is coming down and he is fighting the battle. He is there on the chariot of Arjuna, on the battle of Kurukshetra. And he is fixed in the Lord, but he is still there in the deities, in all the ISKCON temples. In our homes also, Gaur-Nitai deities, Krishna is there. And he is fixed in the Lord, but he is still controlling all the demigods. He is ordering them that you provide rain in this area, you provide earthquake in this area, you provide landslide in this area, you provide good air quality in this area. So all these things are controlled by Krishna. As Ravi Prabhu says, he is the micromanager actually. And that's why he surpasses all excellence. So let's read the purport. Through mental speculation, even the greatest philosopher cannot know the Supreme Lord, who is the absolute personality of Godhead. He can be known only by his devotees through his mercy. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that even if a non-devotee philosopher travels through space at the speed of the wind or the mind or hundreds of millions of years, he will still find that the absolute truth is far, far away from him. The Brahma Samhita further describes that the absolute personality of Godhead has his transcendental abode known as Golok, where he remains and engages in his pastimes. Yet, by his inconceivable potencies, he can simultaneously reach every part of his creative energy. In the Vishnu Puran, his potencies are compared to the heat and light that emanate from a fire. Although situated in one place, a fire can distribute its light and heat for some distance. Similarly, the absolute personality of Godhead, although fixed in his transcendental abode, can diffuse his different energies everywhere. So actually, Krishna, you cannot understand just by mental speculation. Oh, you speculate, okay, just like a frog in the well, just like scientists do, right? We'll go to moon, and they spend 10 years creating a plane of $1 trillion, and then finally they launch that plane, and that plane never reaches anywhere. So unless you have mercy of a person who has seen Krishna, who has realized Krishna, when you hear from him, then only you can understand Krishna. Then only you can experience Krishna. But with your mental speculation, you can never reach Krishna. You can never understand Krishna. And Prabhupada is giving example of sun. Just like sun, it is fixed in one place, but its light and heat, it is experienced by so many planets. So similarly, Krishna is fixed in one place in his abode, but he is moving so many things. And we can experience him by so many means. And the best way to experience is by hearing from a bona fide spiritual master. Shushusho Shraddhanasya Vasudev Katharuchi Syan Mahat Sevaya Vipra Punya Tirtha Nishevana. So when we have faith in hearing, then slowly that purification happens, and we are able to basically experience Krishna. Because the chanting also which we are doing, that is our hearing only. Because the sound vibration which we take from our ear, the devotee association which we have, the prasadam which we take from our mouth, the same vibration we make when we chant. So that's why hearing is very, very important. Like what you hear, the same thing you chant. The quality of chanting depends on quality of hearing. So that's why like hearing from proper authorized sources is very important. Okay. Any questions in this? Second paragraph. Ravi Prabhu, you want to read? Yeah, any question?
Uh, no, I have a question, Prabhu.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
yeah, I cannot read because I am in a slightly busy place, but I can hear you.
Okay.
My question is, uh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. So Krishna says that here
Maybe
every
we can take questions at the end after the purport. Is it okay?
okay, fine, fine. Please request somebody else to read it because it is very
Yeah.
noisy.
Rabjit Prabhu, you want to read second paragraph? Rabjit Prabhu is read.
From where?
Although his energies.
Okay, Prabhu. Although his energy are immeasurable, they can be divided into three principal categories: the internal potency, the marginal potency, and the external potency. There are hundreds and millions of subheadings to each of these categories. The dominating demigods who are empowered to control and administrate such natural phenomena as air, light, and rain are all classified within the marginal potency of absolute person. Lesser living beings, including humans, also belong to the Lord's marginal potency. The material world is the creation of Lord's external potency, and the spiritual sphere, where the kingdom of God is situated, is the manifestation of his eternal potency. Hare Krishna.
Very good. We are also outside. Yeah. So yeah, like I think in Nectar of Instruction we have read this that there are three energies of the Lord: Bahiranga Shakti, Antaranga Shakti, and Tatastha Shakti. So actually, if you are in the spiritual world, there is only one energy. But depending, because in the spiritual world, the disposition of heart of every living entity is very favorable towards the Lord. But depending on the disposition of the heart, that energy changes its behavior. For example, if you become Bahirmukha, if you want to deliberately want to avoid Krishna, if you deliberately develop aversion to Krishna and his devotees, then the same energy will act in a external potency manner. So that is called the Maya. Like Maya means which is not, and actually it is not, because now we are facing away from Krishna. That's why the same like internal potency will act like Maya, and there the illusion starts as soon as we like move away from Krishna. And that's why it is said ki in this entire world, there are only two things. There is Krishna and there is Krishnas. And if we don't understand this, then we are in Maya. Then we are in external potency. And here Prabhupada is telling that basically all the, like the spiritual sky is the manifestation of internal potency. And all the living entities are the manifestation of marginal potency. And the material nature material world is the creation of Lord's external potency. So material world is something which is temporary, right? Like after every day of Brahma, the entire cosmic manifestation is annihilated. And after 100 years of Brahma, when Brahma dies, then that is the like the major annihilation takes place. So material world is something which is something there, sometimes not there. So it is temporary. It is not like eternal. So that's why it is a product of external potency. And marginal means basically you are on the, it's like the sand on the bed of the sea. That sometimes the sand is covered by the water from the sea, and sometimes when the water recedes, then again in the presence of sunlight, the sand dries. So sometimes the living entity is in Maya, sometimes the living entity is under the shelter of the internal potency of the Lord. So there is no other thing. Like either you are serving Krishna or you are serving Maya. There is no other third thing. So Krishna or Maya. So that's what. And like the living entity generally, because of its prolonged association with the three modes of nature, it is dwelling in between Maya and Krishna. Mahatmanastu mam partha devim prakritim ashrita bhajanti ananya manaso gyatva bhutadim abhyam. So Mahatmas are those who like constantly they want to endeavor to take the shelter of the internal potency because they know that that is the reality, and that's what our endeavor should also go. And that's why these platforms are created. That morning, evening, we are coming together to hear from Maharaj, and we are doing Bhakti Shastri so that we can understand what is the reality. Right now, everything what we are doing is not directly Krishna conscious. So we have to understand that how we can improve our consciousness, how we can connect with Krishna better, how we can execute a life according to Vedic rules and regulations, so that we can fulfill the purpose of life. So the purpose of life is to like attain Krishna prema and go back to Godhead. So how do we understand that whether we are progressive or at least we are there, like we are making some progress? Krishna is paying attention to us and he is helping us. So all those things we should prioritize. We should prioritize our relationship with Krishna, and that can be done by various means. Yena kena prakarena mana Krishna nivesha. It can be done by reading scriptures. It can be done by asking questions. It can be done by like going to temple, taking darshan, and discussing about the Lord with the pujari or discussing about the Lord with other devotees. So this like making advancement towards Krishna can be done in various ways. And like Chaitanya Charan Prabhu used to say that in this material world, the biggest enjoyment is when two like-minded devotees come together and they discuss about Krishna. And they discuss about their hearts. Guhyamakyati Prichiti. They reveal their realization. They enlighten themselves, enlighten others about Krishna. Machchitta madgat prana bodhayanta parasparam katyantasya mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. So in the translation of this Bhagavad Gita verse, Prabhupada uses the word enlightened. So pure devotees, they come together and they talk about Krishna and they enlighten each other about Krishna Katha, about the presence of Krishna, about the Krishna Tattva. So that is a service actually. Like if you do service and you are able to elevate the consciousness of another devotee, Krishna is very, very happy. Krishna is very pleased about it. And that's why like Krishna is also very pleased when like-minded devotees come together and they discuss about Krishna. Because Krishna personally is present in that place. Naham tisthami vaikunte yogi hridayeshu va yatra gayanti madbhakta tatra tishtanti narada. So Krishna is saying that I'm not in Vaikuntha, I'm not in the hearts of yogis also. But where you discuss about me, there that is my real home. So this discussing about Krishna is very important. Okay. So we'll read the next paragraph. Thus the different energies of the Lord are present everywhere. Although the Lord and his energies are non-different, one should not mistake these energies for the supreme truth. Nor should one wrongly consider that the Supreme Lord is distributed everywhere impersonally or that he loses his personal existence. Men are accustomed to reaching conclusions according to their capacity for understanding. But the Supreme Lord is not subject to our limited capacity for understanding. It is for this reason that the Upanishads warn us that no one can approach the Lord by his own limited potency. So basically, Krishna has all the forms. Krishna has impersonal form also. Krishna has super soul form also. And Krishna has Satchidanand Vigraha form also. So whatever, sometimes we experience some light. Some people say that God is light. Although that is not false, but that is not the complete reality. The highest reality is when we understand that Krishna is a Satchidanand Vigraha form and like we are his eternal servants. Jivere Swarupe Krishna Nityadas. So that is a lower realization. When people like other impersonalists, they say that Krishna is impersonal, Krishna is light. So that is like you will not be able to experience the like bhakti rasa, and you will not be able to move forward in your relationship with Krishna. You will not experience Krishna. That's why Prabhupada used to say that it is a spiritual suicide, the impersonalism. It will not let you experience the natural rasa which you are always hankering about. So, so that's what Prabhupada is saying, that basically generally we speculate according to our capacity, but Supreme Lord is not limited by that capacity, which we are limited about. So that's why, like, ultimately, Supreme Lord has to reveal Himself through His pure devotees. Then only we will understand. From our capacity, we cannot understand the Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita 10.2, the Lord says that not even the great rishis and suras can know Him. And what to speak of the asuras, for whom there is no question of understanding the ways of the Lord. This fourth mantra of Sri Isopanisad very clearly suggests that the absolute truth is ultimately the absolute person. Otherwise, there would have been no need to mention so many details in support of his personal features. Yeah, so now Prabhupada is emphasizing that Krishna is a person. Krishna has a nose, Krishna has an ear, Krishna has eyes. Krishna also feels hurt when his devotees are hurt. Krishna has feelings, and Krishna cares personally. Krishna is compassionate for every living entity. So, like this, Krishna is a person. That absolute truth is an absolute person. That's what like this fourth mantra is saying. Because Krishna is having these qualities, although he is fixed somewhere, but in spite of that, he's controlling the demigods. He's giving that desire. He's giving that empowerment to the demigods to control the air and water. Yeah. Okay. Next paragraph. Aman Prabhu, you want to read?
Yes, true.
Okay.
Although the individual parts and parcel of the Lord potencies have all the symptoms of the Lord Himself, they have limited spheres of activity and therefore are all limited. The parts and parcels are never equal to the whole, therefore they cannot appreciate the Lord's full potential. Under the influence of material nature, foolish and ignorant living beings who are but part and parcel of the Lord try to conjecture about the Lord's transcendental position. Sri Isopanishad warns of the futility of trying to establish the identity of the Lord through mental speculation. One should try to learn of the transcendence from the Lord Himself, the supreme source of the Vedas, for the Lord alone has full knowledge of the transcendence.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Actually, Matlab, Prabhupada is repeating the same point. Ki basically, we should not speculate on ourselves, and ultimately, we should hear from the authorities to understand the Lord. And that is, so Ishopanishad is warning of the futility of trying to establish the identity of the Lord through mental speculation. So we cannot understand about the identity of the Lord through mental speculation. So I think we can do an activity here. I don't know how attentive the audience is, but uh, yeah. So in your life, you can think of one incident where your minds made some interpretation. For example, suppose something happened, like tsunami happened, and you thought, okay, maybe there are a lot of sinful activities going on. That's why it happened. So this is an interpretation. Like you are not in touch with Bhagavad Gita, you are not in touch with Krishna, but your mind made some interpretation without any like solid fundamentals, scriptural understanding. So you made some interpretation, but eventually it might be true or it might be false. So can you give one example where you made this interpretation and like it was not maybe it was wrong or it was right. It doesn't matter. Is it clear like the so basically Prabhu, like in Bhakti Shastri we do group discussions. Okay, Prabhu, okay. Hare Krishna. So basically we do these discussions and we try to understand from our life how we can apply these purports and these verses. So yeah. So is it clear, Himanshu Prabhu, what I'm saying? Interpretations.
इंटरप्रिटेशन ऑफ हाँ मतलब कोई एक इवेंट हुआ एंड यू हैव टू इंटरप्रेट इट इवन इफ यू वर नॉट अंडर द इस्कॉन कॉन्शियसनेस बट मतलब तुम्हारा एक इंटरप्रिटेशन बता रहा था मैं एक
and ultimately that interpretation proved to be wrong. So sometimes we have conceptions, right? Ki, matlab, for example, if I failed in my exam, so maybe in the morning I did not go to temple. That's why I failed. Something like that. So these are all like superstitious paradoxes, something like that.
गॉट इट
Or any speculation, like if anybody wants to give an example of a speculation, that is also. Yeah, you can take 1 minute and then we'll discuss. Is the question clear to everybody else? Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So Akshat, you want to share?
Yes, Prabhuji. So during the school time, so what happened was like we were having Monday test or the unit test that used to happen on the Monday. So
You have to open your camera. The guidelines are that at least when you speak, you should open your camera.
am I visible now? Yeah. So in the during the school time, I used to have a misconception like I'm not able to good like I am not able to fetch good marks in a unit test if I do not like on the way I do not pray to all the temples that are coming in on the road or by the side of the road while traveling. So that was a misconception that I used to have, or can say I used to have that thing in my mind.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. I think being brought up in Indian family background, there are a lot of superstitions with which we are like brought.
Exactly.
We carry those in our youth and in our married life also. Yeah. Himanshu Prabhu, you want to share next?
yes in my case basically I won't say a misconception
Camera Prabhu, camera.
okay sure okay
Yeah.
so basically it's not a misconception I was basically quick to judge the environment in which I was in for example um, like there was a time last year when I was without job for 2 months and the kind of scenario which had happened in my previous firm like that had kind of shattered me so I was I would say that I did I was not questioning ki matlab, why it is happening with me because I was not saying that when I was living a good time, right? When I was in my comfort zone, when everything was fine. But when I was put in this kind of scenario, then it kind of shook me. But uh, I would say that uh, it kind of so it's might not be directly related to the misconception point, but at least my the way I used to judge things or judge my scenario, my take on things, like it kind of changed that particular the way I look at things. So I kind of started having gratitude after that for whatever little things, for whatever things I have and whatever things I don't have. So I normally think like whatever things I don't have, I think that is also the mercy of the Lord, because if I have those things, probably I would have lived in a certain other manner which is not conducive for bhakta or something like that. So yeah.
Thank you, bro. But what was that incident which instilled you with gratitude? Like, was
Uh, because after that, I gave a lot of interviews in good companies. I got rejection in numerous companies, but wherever I settled in the next company after 2 months, I think that company is much better than the company I had to from which I had to leave, right? So that kind of reinforced my gratitude basically. कि जो होता है अच्छा होता है, बस टाइम टाइम की बात है. कभी कभी टाइम मतलब it takes some time, but you need to have faith. don't judge the circumstances too quickly that you are just alone. You are never alone, even in the good times or even the bad times.
Yeah,
वो
thank you.
कुंती
Thank you
वाली
for
कुंती जी की शिक्षाएं है ना, जैसे उसमें कुंती जी कहती है कि दुख होते हैं तो हम आपको याद करते हैं. तो आई थिंक इवन इन द गुड सर्कमस्टांसेस आल्सो लाइक we should have a remembrance of the God
yeah,
that
yes,
we have in the bad times. Yeah,
yes.
that's it.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Sukeshu anadvignamana dukkeshu vigataspriya vitaragva kruda sithadir muneruchyate. So one should not be carried away by happiness, and one should not be carried away by sadness also. So in sadness we should not become too sad, and in happiness we should not become too happy. We should just be focused in our relationship with Krishna. So very nicely said, Himanshu Prabhu. Generally we try to like understand the cause behind the action, and like in your case, if you lose the job, right? So that happens with everybody. Ultimately, at the end of this life, we'll lose our body, right? And then we understand when we lose something, then we understand actually Krishna has given us so many things, and he has just taken a little bit, and already we have so much. Like we have this body, we have sunlight, we have moonlight, we have the grains, we have milk, we have the air which we are breathing, and we have the deities, we have family members. So many things Krishna is already providing. Like we are just like, why do we offer to the Lord? Because we are just expressing our gratitude to the Lord. Ki, Lord, you have provided us so much. Let us please accept this small token out of which you have provided. So Lord is not in need of anything, but it is our feeling and devotion which we want to offer to the Lord. Yeah. And yeah, with me also, like many times, like when some reversal happens, for example, if somebody like some accident happened, right? And actually then I think, okay, it might be my bad karma, right? So generally it's a combined effect. Like it's even the Kali Yuga is involved, and then there are other effects also. So we should not blame ourselves too much. Basically, sometimes little bit karma might be there from my side if my accident has happened, but there might be other challenges also, and we should learn our lessons, and we should try not to repeat those mistakes. We should, for sure, we should discuss those incidents with some senior devotee, and we should learn those lessons. And in Bhagavatam also, we'll find that this there is a discussion going on between Dharma bull and the mother cow. So there they are showing compassion for each other, like because mother cow is also not so happy, and Dharma bull also, like Kali has broken three of the legs of Dharma bull, right? So mother cow is feeling compassionate on him, and then she's asking him, Ki, what do you think? What is the cause of your suffering? So then he says, Ki, actually, this is $1 million question. Actually, nobody knows the real cause of suffering. Like somebody says it's your karma, somebody says like it's your fate. So nobody knows actually what is. So it is all Krishna's plan, and we cannot like predict Krishna's plan. And but yeah, like sometimes if we have good association, then like we can introspect our heart, because whenever these reversals comes, those are great opportunities to make like our connection with Krishna strong and very solid. So that is what is needed. And when we introspect, then we understand, okay, there is something which needs to be addressed in our heart, because of which this situation has come. So that is the lesson we should take, and then we can go forward from that reversal. There is a verse also in Bhagavad Gita in 18th chapter. Adhisthanam tatha karta karanam cha pritagvidam vividascha devam chavatra pancham. So there are 5 factors of action, and the 5th one is the super soul. So without the sanction of the Lord, nothing happens. So sometimes when you are basically attending Bhagavad Gita classes and you are not so sincere, so Krishna will do something to make you more sincere. Krishna might take your job. Krishna might show up you more devotees in front of you doing book distribution. So this has happened. Like in last 3 years, I've seen other people who have like connected with me, and like Krishna has shown these magical reciprocations with them. So yeah, ultimately it's Krishna's plan to bring us to him, and Krishna makes various arrangements according to our desire. Just as Aman Prabhu was telling that he went to Ooty and like a prasadam got arranged within 5 kilometers. So it is all about our desire. If we can desire strongly, then Krishna will reciprocate. Like Krishna has multiple ways of multiple energies, multiple means of reciprocating. So he is not short of reciprocating, but it is only on our part we don't have strong desire. We don't have that intensity of devotion, because of which things are not falling, uh, falling in place. Yeah. Okay. Any questions on this? We'll read quickly and then jump to next verse. Every part and parcel of the complete whole is endowed with some particular energy to act according to the Lord's will. When the part and parcel living entity forgets his particular activities under the Lord's will, he is considered to be in Maya, illusion. Thus, from the very beginning, Sri Upanishad wants us to be very careful to play the part designated for us by the Lord. This does not mean that the individual soul has no initiative of his own, because he is part and parcel of the Lord. He must partake of the initiative of the Lord as well. When a person properly utilizes his initiative or active nature with intelligence, understanding that everything is the Lord's potency, he can revive his original consciousness, which was lost due to his association with Maya, the external energy. So this paragraph is also very important, because Ishavashyam principle means that whatever duty is allocated to us, we should do that. And that is the bare minimum. But apart from that duty also, we should take our own initiative also. We should try to increase that circle of influence. So generally there are circle of influence and concern, right? And when you harness more positive energy, then your circle of influence increases. So that is what basically Prabhupada is saying, that to increase that circle of influence, you can take your own initiative. You can take your own initiative to preach, to do college preaching, to start your own Bhagavad Gita reading group. So because ultimately, like, we have to come together and offer it as an offering to the Lord. So generally our spiritual master, what they do, like they conduct yatras and they conduct so much mass preaching, and they engage us in the like preaching of this message of Krishna consciousness. So Krishna is pleased with that effort, because when we come together in a systematic, coordinated way, then we have something substantial to offer to the Lord according to his desire. Anukulasya sankalpa pratikulasya vajan. So in that way we can endeavor so much. Just like, has anybody seen Chak De movie? Like, um, yeah, I'm saying Bollywood movie, but yeah. Has anybody seen
Yes,
One
Chakde
Pro?
India.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, I have seen.
So in that, Shahrukh Khan says that ये 70 मिनट जो है तुम्हारे, वो तुम्हारे ही हैं. उसमें
Hmm.
जो भी कर ले, जैसे भी कर ले, पूरा मतलब अचीव कर ले. तो उसका क्या मतलब है? उसको हम स्पिरिचुअल लाइफ में कैसे अप्लाई कर सकते
Like the time which we have got, like this body we have got, and we have understood that we have to do bhakti. So means means the span of time which that is ours, and nobody can means nobody can, unless and until means our time ends, nobody can take those time those quality times from us. So it's our wish whether whether we want to do bhakti or something else. And if we do with intensity, means in that movie also, that you have 70 minutes, and either make it or break it, it's yours, and nobody can, means after that, after 70 minutes you will be judged with your end results. So
हैं?
whatever the chance which we have got in our body, so means whatever the chance which Lord has given to us through this human form of life, so this is our, means this is the blessing of the Lord, and either we should utilize it or not, it depends on us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Yeah, actually, Krishna consciousness is all about free-heartedness. And the more free-hearted we are in executing our Krishna conscious duties, the more happy we become, and the more like positive energy we circulate. And that's what those 70 minutes will become 24 hours also. Like you are doing 24-hour kirtan, you are doing 12 hours college preaching. So all these things, when realizations come, when you get the like-minded association and when you reveal your heart, reveal your realizations, then ultimately you become totally fearless and totally free-hearted. And in that, when you are following the scriptures and when you feel that connectivity with your spiritual master, you become totally like, basically, you are very fearless and you can do anything. It's just like Bhima, right? Bhima was, so when the Pandavas were in Lakshagriha, Bhima, when they were about to get out in the tunnel, Bhima sat Kunti on his shoulder. On the other shoulder, he sat Yudhishthir Maharaj, and he sat Arjun and Nakul Sahadev on his two knees, and he ran like he was so enthusiastic. He was so full of energy. He ran through the tunnel, just sitting all the five Pandavas on his shoulders and on his knees. So he was fearless. Like he was full of enthusiasm, and he was like totally out of the world consciousness. So that's how we should feel when we come to Krishna consciousness. When we, proof of the pudding is in the eating. So it's like fish in the water. As soon as the fish enters the water, she becomes joyful. She wants to do so many things. Like she wants to make others also feel this shelter. So that is the beauty of this like shelter also, right? As soon as you feel the shelter, you want to like make others also feel this shelter. And I have seen in Ravi Prabhu also, like he has this quality that like whenever he feels that he's feeling something good, he wants to make others also feel that something good. So that is a great quality of a preacher. Like preacher, like he doesn't keep good things to himself. He like distributes it and multiplies it, because by like distributing good things, you actually increase their potency. And by distributing bad, like not bad things like dukkhas, then you decrease that potency of dukkhas. And when by like discussing the sukhas, you increase the like potency of the sukhas. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. So that's what our Guru Maharaj also says, that these 16 rounds, this is all yours. Like every day you get 2 hours to get immersed into your relationship with Krishna. And nobody can take away those 2 hours. And like you can do whatever you can. And only you are the best. Like you are competing yourself only. You are not competing anybody else, because your relationship with Krishna is very unique, and everybody has a very unique relationship with Krishna. So the more you absorb yourself, the more you relish your relationship with Krishna, you only become your competitor. Nobody else is your competitor. So yeah, a lot of material principles can be applied in spiritual life. Yeah. So yesterday only, like one of my like team colleagues from my company, he came to the temple, and like he came with his entire family. So his wife was saying that like these days in software companies, like people are more like trying to pull other person down, and that is not the way. It should be more about like helping each other and then doing the work joyfully. So I told, yes, like that is the principle here also in Bhakti Shastri. If you help each other, if you help each other solve your doubts, if you open your heart, if you connect with each other nicely, do services nicely, then you can like do so many services joyfully. You can experience Krishna. But if you like compete with each other, okay, I've got 80 marks, she has got 90 marks, I will pull her down and then I'll get marks more than her. So then you will not experience that spiritual bliss, that joyfulness. But if you serve each other, if you serve for the welfare of each other, then both of you will experience Krishna. Like Krishna will be very happy with that service. So that is the speciality of spiritual world, that everybody can be happy in his service together. Okay, we'll read the last paragraph quickly. All power is obtained from the Lord, therefore, each particular power must be utilized to execute the will of the Lord and not otherwise. The Lord can be known by one who has adopted such a submissive service attitude. Perfect knowledge means knowing the Lord in all his features, knowing his potencies, and knowing how these potencies work by his will. These matters are described by the Lord in the Bhagavad Gita, the essence of all Upanishads. Yeah, this is also interesting paragraph. Right. So this sentence is very important. The Lord can be known by one who has adopted such a submissive service attitude. So in the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, there are 4 verses which tells the items of knowledge. Anybody knows those verses? What? Aman Prabhu or maybe Ravi Prabhu? Yes,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
I mean, there's one shlok where Krishna talks about knowledge, where he talks about, I think, fearlessness, devotion, and but I don't remember exactly. It's a big shlok. He says, "This is all I call knowledge and nothing else."
Yeah. So in the 13th chapter, from 8th verse to 12th verse,
Okay,
these
okay.
these 5 shlokas, they start with Amanitvam Adam Vitvam. Ahimsa Shanti Rajam. So Amanitvam Adam Vitvam means like humility and pridelessness. So both are same still, like Krishna is giving 2 different words for the same emphasis. So humility is the first quality we should have that implies knowledge. And here also Prabhupada is saying that unless you have a submissive service attitude, you cannot understand the Lord and his energies. I think we can do this exercise like humility revealing knowledge. Like if anybody has experience in his life, I will share like suppose you are humble and you are chanting, then something some knowledge awakens, some some light awakens.
But devotees may share that wherever they have shown extreme humbleness or humility, where they could have sort of be aggressive also. I mean, that the situation wanted that they could be aggressive, they could be angry, but they somehow restrained themselves and were humble if they have some instances in their mind.
Yeah, you can add to that. Basically, suppose somebody is provoking you. There is a tempting, provoking situation, and you resisted being provoked. So that is also humility, like tolerating our own mind. That is also humility, and how that helped you increase your Krishna consciousness. Yeah,
Titikshava, Krishna says Titikshava.
yeah. Titikshava Karunika Suridas. Thank you, bro. Okay, if nobody is sharing, like maybe I'll share. So when I go to yatras, right? So generally we are not on a humble platform in our daily life. Like we are not on the spiritual platform. But when we hear from Guru Maharaj and that touches our heart, that makes us humble. That increases, that flares the spark, and we want to receive more. We want to elevate our consciousness more by receiving that sound vibration into our heart. For example, in the evening, we are hearing from Guru Maharaj daily, right? So that desire increases. Okay, I want to hear in the association of devotees for a longer time because something moves in the heart and that increases our humility. And actually, that can only happen when we are humble. When we are humble and receptive, then only the sound vibration enters in our heart. So that was my share. Yeah, anybody else wants to share, or we'll just start the next verse?
Next was, I guess. Actually, means we can't remember with those qualities like where we shown humbleness and all. Means almost in colleges and all. Sometimes, like yeah, means some of my friends they were like when I discussed some philosophy and all, so some of them they respected, some of them they started talking like what he's saying and all. But over the time, when we means when I started giving prasadam and all, so they become favorable. So this is means when someone asks different questions and all, that time also we have to be like we have to be humbly we should speak and all. Sometimes they mocks Krishna also, like why he is doing that and all. But being means being a devotee of Lord and being like actually praying to the Lord, we can't hear those things also. And that time we have to be very humble and at least try means we are praying for him like from Lord. So that time what I used to do is that I used to give him prasadam and all, and sometimes I used to sit with them. And this happened with one of my friend. He tells himself as atheist, but his name is Lakshmi Sagar, although. So he was like that only, and he was discussing those things. So when we were traveling, and I gave prasadam and all, and then like he started taking the Lord's name, like Hare Rama. So I was amazed. Like in mocking me only, he was telling me like, for you means you are doing like that. So I was pleased that the Lord somehow or other he's taking the Lord's name, either by displeasing me or means thinking that I am displeasing him by saying in that way. But what I feel is that he's at least taking Lord's name. So these times, like instead of fighting with them about that you should not speak and all, so we should be humble with them, give them means more prasadam and all, and pray for him, so that will elevate them.
Thank you very much, bro. Very nice. Preaching requires a lot of effort and a lot of intelligence. One man's food is another man's poison. So somebody might like prasadam, and somebody might like maybe some philosophy, and somebody might like something else. Yeah. So Ravi Prabhu, you are listening the preaching techniques of Aman Prabhu.
Yeah, Prabhu, I'm listening. I already shared my things when I was humble, when I was provoked. I've shared all those things. I don't know in which group I've shared,
Yes,
but
yes.
I've shared that people were abusing and blasting, and I was quiet. I was saying Hare Krishna inside my heart. And
Yeah,
ultimately, I know that I have won and they have lost.
yeah. Very nice. And especially when we go for book distribution, as Aman Prabhu is saying that he is trying to preach to his friends in college, that is also a great endeavor, right? Like I'm also trying to preach all of you for last 3 years. Akshat Prabhu, Imanshu Prabhu. These are my school connections. So like spending time with those people and like trying to make them chant, and and ultimately we see them chanting and we see them speak philosophy. It gives so much pleasure to our heart that they have just come towards Krishna because of us, whatever support we provided. It like that is the biggest pleasure, biggest satisfaction of heart, when we see the other person because of us he is going taking steps towards Krishna. For example, book distribution, right? Like our Guru Maharaj says that like Krishna is completely in control, and Krishna is in control only when we are humble. Like because Krishna likes humility. And as soon as we are humble, immediately Krishna will reciprocate. Krishna, you will feel the presence of Krishna. So even for gopis, right? Like as soon as they had little bit pride, Krishna disappeared because of that pride. Because the pride is one thing which puts like very big mountains between us and Krishna. So humility is a very beautiful quality which Krishna likes. Okay. Thank you, Prabhu. So this is what is called determination, and this is what is called dedication to Lord Chaitanya and Guru Parampara. That we are trying to preach and we are applying our intelligence. We are doing good sadhana ourselves. Then Krishna will give us intelligence how to preach to the other person. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. So we'll start the next sloka. तदेजति तन्नेजति तद्दूरे तदवन्तिके Tadantarasya sarvasya tadu sarvasyasya bhayata. The Supreme Lord walks and does not walk. He is far away, but he is very near as well. He is within everything, and yet he is outside of everything. Purport given by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. So this verse is also full of contradictions. He walks and he does not. He is far, he is near. He is within everything, yet he is outside of it. So actually, both the things are true. He is inside us also, he is outside us. And he is not walking as being fixed in the abode, and he is walking also as a super soul, because there are so many super souls in each living entity. So that's why all these statements are true if we understand Krishna in a holistic manner, in a broad picture. So anybody wants to read Himanshu Prabhu, purport?
Sure. Here is a description of some of the Supreme Lord's transcendental activities executed by his inconceivable potencies. The contradictions given here prove the inconceivable potencies of the Lord. He walks and he does not walk. Ordinarily, if someone can walk, it is illogical to say he cannot walk. But in reference to God, such a contradiction simply serves to indicate his inconceivable power. With our limited fund of knowledge, we cannot accommodate such contradictions, and therefore we conceive of the Lord in terms of our limited powers of understanding. For example, the impersonalist philosophers of the Mayavad school accept only the Lord's impersonal activities and reject his personal feature. But the members of the Bhagavad school, adopting the perfect conception of the Lord, accept his inconceivable potencies and thus understand that he is both personal and impersonal. The Bhagavatas know that without inconceivable potencies, there can be no meaning to the word Supreme Lord. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, you are not audible. Mute you.
सॉरी आई वाज ऑन। मैं ये कह रहा था कि थोड़ा स्लोली पढ़ सकते हैं तो बेटर रहेगा। ऐसा लगा
अच्छा,
कि रेलगाड़ी
तो
पर
आप दोबारा पढ़ लूँ क्या?
नहीं, इट्स ओके, नेक्स्ट मे बी वन मोर पैराग्राफ लेटर।
ओके.
तो इसमें यही कह रहे हैं कि मायावादी जो होते हैं वो सिर्फ इम्पर्सनल फॉर्म समझते हैं, लेकिन जो भागवत स्कूल है हमारा, जो हमारा इस्कॉन है, वो दोनों फॉर्म समझता है, पर्सनल भी इम्पर्सनल। तो ये सारी जब फॉर्म्स हम समझ पाते हैं भगवान की होलिस्टिक वे में, तो हम सारी इनकंसीवेबिलिटी को भी समझ पाते हैं। ठीक है, तो रवि प्रभु आप भारती माता आपने ज्वाइन किया, आप पढ़ोगे? मेरी तो आवाज चली गई।
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
हरे
Yes,
कृष्ण।
sure. From here, we should not take.
यस यस,
Okay.
स्लोली स्लोली।
Bharti
Yeah.
Mata, welcome. Bharti Mata, Dandavat Pranam, Bharti Mata.
Thank you, thank you. Hari Bol, Prabhuji.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
We should not take it for granted that because we cannot see God with our eyes, the Lord has no personal existence. Shri Ishnoprishad refutes these arguments by declaring that the Lord is far away but very near also. The abode of the Lord is beyond the material sky, and we have no means to measure even this material sky. If the material sky extends so far, then what to speak of the spiritual sky, which is altogether beyond it? That the spiritual sky is situated far, far away from the material universe is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 15.6. But despite the Lord's being so far away, he cannot at once, within less than a second, descend before us with a speed swifter than that of the mind or wind. He can also run so swiftly that no one can surpass him. This has already been described in the previous mantra.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So this loka is na tad bhasate surya na shashanko na pavaka yad gatvana nivartante tad dhama paramam. So this loka of Bhagavad Gita is describing the properties of the spiritual world. So there is no sun, there is no moon, and if you go to that place, you don't need to return back, because our Our spiritual bodies are so effulging that we don't need sun or moon or electricity. Yeah. So there is a story which is given in Nectar of Devotion, right? Like there is a devotee who is worshipping, like he is away from his deities. So he is worshipping the deities in his mind. And like all the things, for example, when we do Mangal Arti, when we do Gaur Arti, we worship the deities. We offer pranam mantra, we offer incense, and then we offer lamp, then we offer water, and then we offer cloth, then we offer flowers. So Panch Mahabhuta, and we offer our mind, intelligence, and false ego also. So like this, he was worshipping the deities in his mind. The mana seva he was doing, and he prepared after the worship. He prepared some kheer to offer to the Lord. The kheer was very hot, so what he did was he tried to check the. Generally, we don't offer very hot bhoga to the Lord because like it's because Lord is also a person, right? So we would like to offer him in a most palatable manner. So he checked the kheer that whether it is too hot. As soon as he touched the kheer, his finger got burnt, and all this was happening is it in his mind. And immediately his eyes opened, like as he felt the burning of his finger, and immediately he saw that his finger is red, his finger has burnt. And as soon as his eyes opened and he saw his finger burnt, he saw a Vaikunt Viman coming, who is like asking him to aboard, to get aboard, to get on board on that Viman. And immediately Vishnu Dutas took him back to Godhead in on Vaikunt Loka. So so he was worshipping the Lord and like in the mind, and Lord actually came to take him back to Godhead. So all these things, like Krishna can make it possible. And that's what he's saying, that Krishna, although he's fixed in his abode, but he can still come like in the form of our deities to accept the bhoga which we offer. Because Krishna sees the devotion of the devotee, and Krishna can reciprocate with each and every individual devotee. Yeah. Okay. Yet when the personality of Godhead comes before us, we neglect him. Such foolish negligence is condemned by the Lord in the Bhagavad Gita, where he says that the foolish deride him. Considering him a mortal being, he is not a mortal being, nor does he come before us with a body produced of material nature. So this is very important actually. The Guru, matlab Shastra says that the Guru should be treated as non-different from God. Sakshadaritvena samasta shastre yuktas tathava yatha eva sadbhit. Kintu prabhorya priya eva tasya vande guroshi charanaravinda. So if we respect our Guru as good as God, and we serve him attentively, carefully, we hear from him, then actually Krishna reciprocates in our heart. Krishna consciousness awakens in our heart. But if we neglect him, if we disrespect him, if we ignore him, then that foolish negligence, then what can happen? Like then we cannot go back to God. Like we cannot make spiritual progress. And that's what Bhagavad Gita also says. Ashraddhana Purusha Dharmasya Parantapa Aprapya Mam Nivartante Mrityum Sansara Saga. Mrityu Sansara Vartmani. So a person who doesn't have faith, like he is bound to repeat himself in this cycle of birth and death. Mrityum Sansara Vartmani. So that's why we should have full faith in the Guru, in the Shastra, in the persons who are giving you the process of bhakti, in Krishna, in chanting the holy name, Chetodarpana Marjanam. So all these are faith. Faith is very important. If faith is there, then immediately you can feel the presence of Krishna. But if faith is not there, then it takes a long time to experience Krishna. And only if you have inner conviction. Because faith and all, it is all about our mind. Because faith is also in three modes of nature. 17th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, you can read about the three types of faith. Faith in mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. So for a devotee, it's recommended to stay in mode of goodness, to follow Shastra, to read Shastra, so that he is very close to Krishna. Because from goodness to go to transcendence, it is very easy. But from passion and ignorance, it takes a long time. So yeah, like rising up early in the morning, going to bed early, taking prasadam cooked by nice devotees, and reading scriptures, following scriptures, and hearing from pure devotees, taking devotee association, serving Vaishnavas. All these activities, they are hearing Bhagavatam from devotees. So all these activities will make a life of mode of goodness, and then you can advance very rapidly towards Krishna. Okay. Because he is full of inconceivable potencies, God can accept our service through any sort of medium, and he can convert his different potencies according to his own will. So there are three energies actually of Krishna, three potencies: Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, or Jnana Shakti. Recently, we were hearing this from one. So Ichha Shakti means Krishna at will he can transfer one potency to another. Just like an electrician, he can transform the electrical energy into air conditioned also. He can transform the same electrical energy into a heater also, into gas also. Similarly, Krishna can also transform any potency to anything. He can accept service in any form. He can accept service by raising a child. He can accept service by like by hearing, by making a person give Bhagavad Gita lectures. He can accept service by like getting corrections from the mentor to that devotee. So there are multiple ways in which Krishna extracts service from us. So that is Krishna is the controller that Krishna will do from us. So slowly, as we like, as our dedication to Prabhupada, as our commitment to Prabhupada increases, these means of extractions will also increase. As I have seen in my life, that like many sincere people Krishna has sent, and on those relationships, I'm just navigating, and very easily like inconceivable. For example, in this Kali Yuga, there is no support for Grahastha ashram practically. Previously in Grahastha ashram, we used to live in a Varnashrama environment. Grahasthas used to live together. They used to be cow culture, Brahmanical culture. Those are very degraded in this Kali Yuga. There is practically no support for Grahasthas. But only because of Krishna's reciprocation, maybe little bit dedication from myself, and full blessings from Guru Maharaj and Prabhupada, we are able to traverse. And all of you, because of presence of all of you, we are able to make course. And our boat is solid. Like the waves in the form of these Isopanisad scriptures, they are waving, and all of us are sitting in this boat, which is driven by Srila Prabhupada. So all of us are safe, basically going, making progress in the right direction. Okay. So anybody wants to read this? Himanshu Prabhu, you wanted to read that again?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I'm just moving out. अभी मेरे को drive करना.
Okay. Aman Prabhu, you want to
I'll
read?
be listening.
Yes, Prabhu. uh,
Yeah.
because he is full of inconceivable potencies, God can accept our service through any sort of medium, and he can convert his different potencies according to his own will. Non-believers argue either that the Lord cannot incarnate himself at all, or that if he does, he descends in a form of material energy. These arguments are nullified if we accept the existence of the Lord's inconceivable potencies. Then we will understand that even if the Lord appears before us in the form of material energy, it is quite possible for him to convert this energy into spiritual energy. Since the source of the energy is one and the same, the energies can be utilized according to the will of their source. For example, the Lord can appear in the form of Archa Vigraha, a deity supposedly made of earth, stone, or wood. Deity forms, although engraved from wood, stone, or other matter, are not idols, as the iconoclast contained.
Iconoclasts content. Yeah. Thank you.
Iconoclasts. So, what do you mean by this? Like iconoclast?
Iconoclasts. Yes. Prabhu.
Iconoclast.
We can do a Google search. Iconoclast का vocabulary क्या है? Basically, मतलब, a person who attacks or criticizes cherished beliefs or institutions. So generally, like, people don't believe in deities, right? So I have also tried preaching to many people in my company, and most of them, they don't really accept that Krishna is there in that in that DT form. And they think, okay, there is some stone, and now people are calling that stone a DT. They don't know there is a proper pran pratishtha where there are authorized acharyas who induce life in those stones. So that is a proper process given by Shastra. So Lord can appear in the form of Archavik. So basically, iconoclasts are those who do not accept deities as Krishna. Like they don't accept. Yeah, so basically in this paragraph, Prabhupada is saying that whatever gets connected to Krishna, that becomes spiritual. So anything material, if you get connected to Krishna, that becomes spiritual. For example, this laptop. If you are engaging in spiritual sound vibration, immediately this laptop is also spiritual. And I have full realization. I'm with this laptop for last 1.5 years. So much mercy has flown through this laptop. These laptops, these Google Meet links, they all act as sources of mercy. They become spiritualists. And that's why like companies like Google, they are flourishing so much because of these products which devotees use for propagating Krishna consciousness. So everything becomes spiritual, which comes in contact with Krishna. And that's why Krishna is able to transform these energies. Although the stone, the metal, or everything is like Panchamahabhuta, which is indirectly material. But as soon as the Pran Pratishtha happens, entire thing acts as a spiritual thing. Okay, Prabhu, is it clear, Prabhu? Any questions on this? Okay. Akshat, Prabhu, you want to read next paragraph? No present.
Sure, Prabhuji. In our present state of imperfect material existence, we cannot see the Supreme Lord due to imperfect vision. Yet those devotees who want to see him by means of material vision are favored by the Lord, who appears in a so-called material form to accept his devotees' service. One should not think that such devotees who are in the lowest stage of devotional service are worshipping an idol. They are factually worshipping the Lord, who has agreed to appear before them in an approachable way. Nor is the arka form fashioned according to the whims of the worshipper. This form is eternally existent with all paraphernalia. This can be actually felt by a sincere devotee, not by an atheist. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you very much. So yeah, so here, like generally Prabhupada is describing about the neophyte devotees. So neophyte is actually a very good level. There is a very good standard, and we cannot call ourselves a neophyte devotee also Kanishtadhikari if we don't worship the Lord. So here Prabhupada is saying that sometimes neophyte devotees they search for the Lord with a material vision, and that's why the deity worship is best for them because it's a material thing. They are worshipping some material stone, and Krishna reciprocates through that material stone. But Prabhupada is saying that don't think that they are just worshipping a stone. They are actually worshipping the Lord. And Krishna has agreed to appear in those stones. And slowly, when we worship this form of the Lord, then there are like a lot of realizations which come to our heart. Like we understand deity starts reciprocating every time. Whenever you do Gaur Aarti, he will reciprocate. There will be a lot of rasa. The Madhurya rasa, Vatsalya rasa, all the rasas will be there. Bhakti rasa will be there. And there will be paraphernalia. When you wash the lamp, you will feel that connect with Krishna. You will feel that Bhakti rasa. So the paraphernalia also is non-different from Krishna. So when you do deity worship in your house, you should keep paraphernalia also in a very good condition because paraphernalia is not non-different from Krishna. And the more you keep it nicely, the more opulence will flow in your house. Yeah. In the Bhagavad Gita 4.11, the Lord says that how he treats his devotee depends on the devotee's degree of surrender. Ye yathamam prapadanti. The Lord reserves the right not to reveal himself to anyone and everyone, but to show himself only to those souls who surrender unto him. Thus, for the surrendered soul, he is always within reach, whereas for the unsurrendered soul, he is far, far away and cannot be approached. Yeah, surrender means basically you have to connect with the Lord and then fully depend on him in those activities. And there are multiple ways to connect. Bharati Mata, would you like to read next paragraph?
हाँ, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yes, sure. In this connection, two words in the revealed scripture often apply to the Lord: Sagun with qualities and Nirgun without qualities are very important. The word Sargun does not imply that when the Lord appears with perceivable qualities, he must take on a material form and be subject to the laws of material nature. For For him, there is no difference between the material and spiritual energies because he is the source of all energies. As the controller of all energy, he cannot at any time be under their influence as we are. The material energy works according to his direction. Therefore, he can use that energy for his purposes without ever being influenced by any of the qualities of that energy. In this sense, he is Nirgun, without qualities. Nor does the Lord become a formless entity at any time. For ultimately, he is the eternal form, the primeval Lord. His impersonal aspect or Brahman effulgence is but the glow of his personal rays, just as the sun rays are the glow of the sun god. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Can you explain a little bit what is this Saguna and Nirguna? Bharti Mata, would you like to explain?
Sorry, Prabhuji.
Yeah, basically, like when the Lord descends in the deity form, that is with qualities. Like, although the Lord is Nirguna, but in the deity form, he becomes Saguna because there are so many features, so many qualities of that deity. So that is the Saguna thing. The material energy works according to his direction. Therefore, he can use that energy for his purposes without ever being influenced by any of the qualities of that energy. In this sense, he is Nirguna without qualities. So, although both material and spiritual energy are Krishna's energy, but Krishna can use the material energy to, like ultimately, to make them without qualities. So, so there are many verses in Bhagavad Gita also, right? Maya tatamidam sarvam jagad avyakta murtina matsthanam. So something like that. So both the energies are Krishna's energies, and Krishna can use the material energy for his service. So in that sense, he is without qualities. But the word Saguna does not imply that when the Lord appears with perceivable qualities, he must take on a material form and be subject to the laws of material nature. For him, there is no difference between the material and spiritual energy because he is the source of all energies. ठीक है तो yeah, अमन किसने भारती माता या गो ahead.
प्रभु जी मतलब आई डोंट नो पर मेरे एंड पे मुझे थोड़ा सा क्लियर नहीं हुआ हाउ वी कैन एट द सेम टाइम डिफाइन गॉड एज अ सरगुण एंड निर्गुण आई डोंट मुझे क्लियर नहीं हुआ रेस्ट अबाउट आई डोंट नो
हाँ ठीक है ये वाला सेंटेंस क्लियर हो गया आपको मटेरियल एनर्जी वर्क्स अकॉर्डिंग टू हिज डायरेक्शन
यस यस आई गॉट दिस पॉइंट
तो इसकी वजह से निर्गुणा हो रहा है ये समझ में आ रहा है आपको
पर गॉड इज सुप्रीम पर्सनालिटी पर एट द सेम टाइम हाउ कैन वी से हिम निर्गुण उनके पास तो सब क्वालिटीज है ही
नहीं निर्गुण इस सेंस में है कि वो इल्यूजरी एनर्जी से इन्फ्लुएंस नहीं होते हैं मतलब when Krishna descends in this material world, he is not affected by the three modes of material nature. In that sense, he is nirguna. Matlab guna,
Okay, yes.
there are spiritual qualities and there are like three modes of material nature. Guna, karma, vibhaga. Guna means three modes of nature. ठीक है? So ये इसका exact मतलब meaning है. और thank you for asking that question. ठीक है? तो जो भगवान का जो सच्चिदानंद विग्रह फॉर्म होता है वो सगुणा होता है, क्योंकि उसकी ट्रांसेंडेंटल स्पिरिचुअल फीचर्स होते हैं. जैसे आप फेस पे शाइन देखोगे, आईज देखोगे, तो ये सारे स्पिरिचुअल फीचर्स हैं. लेकिन वो सगुणा स्पिरिचुअल सेंस में हो गए. लेकिन देर आर लाइक तीन गुण जो हमारे प्रकृति के गुण होते हैं, उनसे परे होते हैं. अपरया मितस्तन्या प्रकृतिम विधि में परा. सो दैट इज कृष्णा. सो इन दैट सेंस इट इज निर्गुण. ठीक है? Three paragraphs are here. So, Bharti Mata, you can read this also if you want.
Okay, Prabhuji. When the child saint Prahlad Maharaj was in the presence of his atheist father, his father asked him, "Where is your God?" When Prahlad replied that God resides everywhere, the father angrily asked whether his God was within one of the pillars of the palace, and the child said yes. At once the atheist king shattered the pillar in front of him to pieces, and the Lord instantly appeared as Narsimha, the half man, half lion incarnation, and killed the atheist king. Thus, the Lord is within everything and he creates everything by his different energies. Through his inconceivable powers, he can appear at any place in order to favor his sincere devotee. Lord Narsimha appeared from within the pillar not by the order of the atheist king but by the wish of his devotee Prahlad. An atheist cannot order the Lord to appear, but the Lord will appear anywhere and everywhere to show mercy to his devotee. The Bhagavad Gita 4.8 similarly states that the Lord appears in order to vanquish non-believers and protect believers. Of course, the Lord has sufficient energies and agents who can vanquish atheists, but it pleases him to personally favor a devotee. Therefore, he descends as an incarnation. Actually, he descends only to favor his devotee and not for any purpose. In the Brahm Samhita 5.35, it is said that Govind, the primeval Lord, enters everything by his plenary portion. He enters the universe as well as the atoms of the universe. He is outside in his Virat form, and he is within everything as Antaryami. As Antaryami, he witnesses everything that is going on, and he awards us the result of our action as karma phal. We ourselves may forget what we have done in previous lives, but because the Lord witnesses our action, the result of our action are always there, and we have to undergo the reaction nonetheless. The fact is that there is nothing but God within and without. Everything is a manifestation of his different energies, like the heat and light emanating from a fire, and in this way there is oneness among his diverse energy. Although there is oneness, however, the Lord in his personal form still enjoys unlimitedly all the pleasure enjoyed minutely by the tiny part and parcel living entities. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you very much. So yeah, like Krishna is everywhere. We just have to call out Krishna, and immediately Krishna will come in your house in the form of a devotee. So one time, one devotee told me that if you just cry in your house, if you just cry and beg to the Lord, oh Krishna, I need your association, then immediately some devotee will come running and climb the stairs and ring your bell. And these things are not like these are not just stories. The Prahlad Maharaj also, right? Prahlad Maharaj said, yeah, this Lord is there, my Lord is there in this pillar. And immediately Narsimadev came out to fulfill the words of his devotee. So that is also another property of the Lord is Bhakta Vatsala. So he fulfills the vows of his devotee. For example, he fulfilled the vow of Bhishma Dev in the battle of Kurukshetra. he basically got down and fought and killed Bhishmadev. So like this, when a devotee is very dear to Krishna, immediately Krishna protects the words of a devotee. Yeah. Bhavagrahi Janardhan. He reciprocates with the emotions and feelings of the devotees. And Krishna in our heart, he's sitting as a super soul, as a witnesser. So he knows what we have done in the past, what we might do in the future, and what is going on in our heart. What are the feelings? What are the emotions? What are the sanskaras we are carrying in our subtle body? Everything Krishna knows. So whatever activity we are doing, everything is witnessed by Krishna. And all these 12 Mahajanas, they are always present at every moment. So this Chitragupta has a very big hard disk, which is recording each and every second of our life. I think I told you that story in the last session. Yeah. So Chitragupta is the secretary of Yamraj, basically. Yeah. So all these are like amazing stories, and we have heard the story of Akshapatra also, right? Yudhishthir Maharaj, as soon as he like fixed his attention on Krishna, then immediately Krishna appeared. So yeah, Akshapatra story, right? Like Yudhishthira Maharaj was very worried because of Durvasa Muni coming with his 10,000 disciples. So as soon as we remember Krishna, immediately Krishna will reciprocate. There was a person who was a disciple of Narottam Das Thakur. His name was Chandra Roy. He just like he was let loose amidst a bunch of mad elephants. And what he did was he just he just held the trunk of an elephant, and he remembered his guru, Narottam Das Thakur. And immediately the elephant died. So that is the power of remembering Guru and having faith in one's Guru's lotus feet. Wonders can happen actually. Mukum karoti vachalam pangum tangayate girim. So a dumb person can speak, a lame person can climb the mountains. So any magic can happen if you have faith in your Guru. Yeah. So basically, the conclusion of this verse is that Krishna has both oneness also, and he has a personal form also. There is a oneness in all the energies, and there is a personal form. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, Mataji. Good.
Prabhuji, matlab, I have an experience. Can I share?
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
You were saying that start matlab, worshipping or chanting or start talking to Krishna, and I have already started this, and yes, it is truly that Krishna reciprocates me. Whenever I have any difficulties or I always share my problem or start talking to him, and he matlab, whenever he feels he gave me the result also. Sometimes I put two chit in front of him, and my child he pick up one and give it to me. So I got the solution also. So instead of talking to people, I started talking to Krishna.
Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. You know Radha Govind Maharaj, what he says? Ki grahasthas who are making their kids chant Krishna, chant Hare Krishna, they are actually, their position is greater than sannyasis. So although we are not at that level, but even if you are able to give some Krishna consciousness to your children, and the Hare Krishna mantra is entering their hearts, entering their consciousness, you are doing a great deed. And like sons are always like, in many places in Bhagavatam, it is written that the purpose of marriage, religious marriage is to beget a son who can deliver the father and who can offer oblations to the forefathers. So that is the purpose of marriage. Otherwise, marriage is useless actually. So all these things, if you are able to engage your children in Krishna consciousness, nothing like it. Like that is the best you can do. And immediately Krishna will reciprocate, because all children, they are भगवान का रूप ही होते हैं सारे बच्चे. So you are very fortunate, मतलब Krishna is so close to you. ठीक है. ठीक है, then we'll end today. The theme of this verse was that Krishna has both oneness and personal. Yeah. And we'll float some more questions. I think we floated some questions for first verse and introduction. I'll share it again. So Aman Prabhu, I'll add you to this group. So we have this online Bhakti Shastri WhatsApp group.
Sure, Prabhu.
है ना? Okay.
Hmm.
And you can, if you want, you can make the payment also for this module. Okay.
Yes, Prabhu.
I hope you liked this session.
Yeah, Prabhu. It was interactive.
Okay.
Okay.